Let me tell you. Baby, let me tell you how to do it now.
Hola, and welcome to the More Substance Podcast. I'm your host, name not important, and this is the program where we bring you some of the most interesting people on earth. Some you may know, some may be strangers. A few might be famous, and others infamous. Nevertheless, what a great time to be listening and opportunity to learn something new.
Let me tell you. Baby, let me tell you how to do it now. Baby, let me tell you how to do it now. Take it in, dude. It's your first time. Baby, let me tell you how to do it.
I've been very blessed and fortunate to be able to travel around the world. I visited many places and seen many faces. Even at a young age, a baby mind you, I was traveling. Not on my own, of course, but with my family. My dad was in the military, so by default, that made me what people love to call an army brat. With traveling a great deal and seeing different cultures and people, you tend to become more well-rounded, possibly more open-minded as well. We tend to be more closed-minded when we only know one or a few ways to do and see things. During my journeys, I noticed no matter what race or area I encountered or was in, there was always beautiful and good-looking people, without fail. I've seen some people in foreign countries and stateside as well that if you brought them to certain places and areas, people would lose their mind. Now, I don't want to come off as vain or that I have a special eye for quote-unquote talent, but I can see someone who isn't what people would call all that or made up and see their true potential. To most, they may come off as a common-looking person, when in actuality, they're really a resplendent individual. They just may need some help bringing it out. You see that even with what's known as extreme makeovers. They take someone that most people see as what's commonly known nowadays as basic, and in a sense, transform them, no Optimus Prime, into someone that wows people. The exact same person, just packaged a little different. I remember posting some stuff about it on social media back in the gap, about how a lot of men be looking elsewhere at other women, while they have a hidden gem right in front of them or at home. But they end up falling in love with photos. Not a real person, a photo. Might not even be the person behind that account. Straight catfish with no hot or tartar sauce. Now we know most people use filters. They're already enhancing their natural look. Others actually take the time to invest in their well-being and looks. And again, a man may have a diamond in the rough in their possessions and just not be invested in their looks. Not to mention, they can start to take them for granted. That's natural with humans. But we have to take care of the things we value. It's no different than having a yard you never take care of than looking at your neighbor's lawn like, wow, I wish I had that. But you can have that if you sow into it and keep it up. It takes work to look good. Don't let anyone fool you. Most people on earth do not wake up drop dead gorgeous just by breathing every day. It's funny, two people can have the exact same vehicle, but one can take care of and clean the inside and outside of theirs. And then the other let their ride just kind of go to waste. They not cleaning up, they don't take care of it, they don't wash it, don't shine the tires or rims or none of that. Now, when you see both these rides side by side, which one is going to catch your eye? Which one is going to be more desired? I've seen many people walking around every day, or as John Legend would put it, ordinary people. That if you put them in movies, on TV, or they become famous, people will be fawning over them. But when you see the same people every day and they aren't famous or someone you grew up with or tend to be around daily and things have become monotonous, you tend to take them for granted. That's also human nature. But what I would encourage anyone to do, especially a man, is to sow into your significant other or spouse's looks. Are looks everything? Certainly not. So always be balanced with it. But women need that time. We do too as men, but men and women, all things being equal, tend to relax and detox from a long day or week or month or even year differently. Women desire that spa time, that Calgon bath that takes them away, that facial or manicure and pedicure, the time getting their hair done. That type of stuff is not only relaxing, but it helps with their insecurities as well. When you look good, for the most part, you tend to feel good. So make sure your spouse feels good, and not just in a freaky physical way, but with daily encouragement and also helping them look their best. It won't cost you an arm or a leg either. There are some real good places and products available that won't have you foreclosing on your home or selling your kids off. So before you plunge head over heels and become enamored with a social media photo or someone you work with or see working often, make sure you're helping your own look their very best for you. That's the gift that keeps giving right there. Plus, others will notice. It's a wonderful feeling for other people to give you that head nod of approval and thumbs up and be like, yeah, yeah, I see you. Or, that's a good look. With that being said, let's get into this good episode. And what you're about to find out, among other things, are some practical, affordable, and excellent ways to accomplish the things I mentioned in the intro. You won't be disappointed, and of course, you'll learn some new things as well. Well, good afternoon, Miss Briana. How you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. I just want to thank you first of all for taking the time out and do the show. We really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. So we can go ahead and get into it. We'll start from the beginning in your engineering days, and then we'll get to your two businesses that you currently start. So you was a professional engineer for 16 years, right?
Well, I was yeah, so the professional I was an engineer. I got my Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from Louisiana Tech University back in '02.
Okay,
So how it works in the engineering industry is that you actually work under an engineer, sort of like an intern, but
gotcha.
or sort of like a residency like you would a doctor.
Uh huh.
So I did that, got a job out of college in Baltimore, Maryland,
Okay.
and worked under several engineers for I want to say like four to 5 years before I was able to sit and take my professional engineer's license test. So once I did that, I became a professional engineer, which is, for lack of better terms, it's like the doctor of engineers. How doctors could put MD behind their name, I
Uh
put
huh.
PE behind my name. So
Okay. Okay. So
and
is that standard though? Like, if you're gonna be an engineer, was there any testing you had to do before you set up under somebody and like kind of shadowed them that whole time, or what?
could you repeat the question? I didn't hear the first part of it.
Is that standard? Like once you graduate, it's probably gonna take you 4 to 5 years to kind of be on your own to be the professional engineer.
That's standard if you know you want to be a PE. Not all engineers want to be a PE, but from a legal standpoint,
Uh huh.
you are not classified as an engineer until you sit for this professional engineer's test. So, and not a lot of people sit for this test.
Right.
So it's a big honor in the engineering industry if you do sit for this test and acquire your PE license.
Okay. Okay. Is the testing hard? Do people like have to take it a couple times?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's a 8 hour.
8 hours?
It's an 8 hour test.
Wow.
And you can take it. You only have so many times to take it, and if you it depends on which state you're in. So, and I
Gotcha.
was in Maryland at the time, so I actually came down to Texas to take it because I knew Texas was where I wanted to be eventually.
Right.
So I took it. It's still the same test though.
Okay.
But you can take it 3 times before you have to. If you fail it 3 times, you have to wait. Like I want to say, I forget what the rules and regulations are now. It's like usually you have to wait like a year or two before you can sit to take it again.
Wow, wow. What and how was your experience in that field? Like, what jobs did you actually have once you became a professional engineer?
So before I was actually a professional engineer, I still did engineering duties. So my
Okay,
first couple of years were I worked in what they call land development,
land
building and
development.
facilities. Yeah, I helped when you're walking on a sidewalk or you're driving down the street or driving across a bridge or doing anything that requires people to get to places
Right.
safely and stuff like that. That's what civil engineers did. So I
Okay.
worked on all kinds of projects from subdivisions to commercial to industrial to my specialty was stormwater management. I did stormwater management design, storm drain, water, sewer, you name it.
Okay.
I did it
Okay.
all.
So, did you know when you went to school, like that's what you wanted to do? Like, how did that even come in your mind? Like, I want to be an engineer.
Well, I've actually wanted to be an engineer, a civil engineer to be specific,
Uh-huh.
since 10th grade. I knew I
Wow.
want before then. I knew I wanted to be. At first, it was an architect,
Okay.
and then when I did my research, architect didn't really dig into the science of
Gotcha.
what just of buildings and stuff. So about the 10th grade year, I learned that that's what civil engineers do. So I knew I wanted to be a civil engineer since the 10th grade of high school.
Okay. Okay.
What I didn't know is there's so many different parts of civil engineering that you can go
Mm-hmm.
into.
Yeah.
So in college, we had to learn them all.
Okay, and
and
then
then
that
get
kind of gives you a
graduate.
idea of what area
And
you want to specifically go in.
yes, yes, and even still, at the end of the day, it's who's gonna give you a job
Right.
when you graduate.
Man,
So I was blessed enough to get a job in land development. There are certain parts of civil engineering that are a little bit more monotonous than
okay.
others. In land development, each project is different.
Okay.
Each
So that's
building is
good.
different.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, it was. I had a lot of variety, and that was probably like the first 10 years of my career. And of course, as we had the economy fail,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff happened, and so land development wasn't where it was at. My company that I was with, my last company that I was with, had an oil and gas division, and so I did what anybody's doing who's trying to keep
Keep
their
that job.
job.
Uh-huh.
I switched industries.
I got you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the issue was the oil and gas industry. They were so used to not having so many regulations,
Right.
and that wasn't the case anymore. So it was an easy transition because I had that knowledge that they needed to get
Right.
permits and stuff like that. So it worked out. It worked out really well.
Okay, right on time. So then let's fast forward to you starting your own two businesses. When was it that you knew, like, because you've been doing the professional engineering for a while, it seems like you loving it. That was your passion since the 10th grade. What started like tugging at you? Were like this, I'm gonna have to let this go. I'm gonna have to take a risk, jump out there. What things started to happen for you to make these moves?
So with Verte, which is
Uh-huh.
my natural bath and body business,
Right.
that one happened. So I had a nice little baby boy
Uh-huh.
in 2006. I forgot how many years I had already been in it. Probably 4 years already in engineering,
Okay.
and I kind of lucked up on Verte. Just I was a newly single mother. It was just me and my son,
Uh-huh.
and my son has really, really, at least at the time, he had really dry skin. Not
Gotcha.
quite eczema. It was just really dry.
Uh-huh.
And so I've always been that kind of that DIY kind of person, like
Uh-huh.
kind of just and DIY engineering. Of course I can figure this out. Why,
Yeah,
figure
do
something
my
out. So
research. Yeah.
right. So I basically just started researching alternatives to skincare for him because he was a baby. He was like, what was he? Probably 4 at the
Uh-huh.
time, something like that. Yeah, he was about. I had him in 2006, and so the company was formed around 2008, 2000, something like that, 3 or 4 years old. And I literally, no lie, when I did the research, it talked about shea butter and stuff. I
Hmm.
literally went on eBay and ordered my first pound of shea butter off
Yeah.
of eBay,
Yeah.
of all places, eBay.
Yeah.
And so I ordered.
Amazon wasn't hitting back then. It was straight
Amazon
eBay.
was not on the popping yet.
Yeah.
So I ordered some shea butter and some essential oils and just started like basically cooking, literally cooking in the kitchen, looking for like try to make some body butter for him.
Yeah.
And he used to crack me up because I would use him
As your
like
guinea
my test
pig.
bunny.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and he would as a 4-year-old he would tell me my stuff it stank,
Like,
like
yeah.
I didn't mix. Yes, he was like, this does not smell good. Like I would mix all these essential oils and just stuff together,
Hmm.
but
Trying to
that's
see what's
essentially how it
best.
started. Yes, I try to
Wow.
see what's best, and after I can't even count how many batches I had of just screwing it up. I finally got it right,
Yeah.
and he told me he liked it. So
That's when you
hey, I
knew it
knew
was
I had it
right.
then. That's
Uh-huh.
when I knew.
Okay.
Right. So, but at that point, it wasn't. I hadn't formed a company, but what it did for me was, it was an accomplishment. It was something outside of engineering, and I took a big interest in just, starting to create
Right. The creative side
skincare.
coming out. Uh-huh.
Right. So, but the other cool thing about it was how Laverne came about. Not only am I a professional engineer, I was also certified in lead green building for buildings and sites and stuff, which is it's a certification for. And if you've ever been to a building nowadays, you'll see it. It's this standard for building your project according to green standards,
Oh,
whether it
gotcha.
be
Yeah. Yeah.
recycling the water, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yep.
So I'm a huge advocate of recycle, reuse, repurpose. I'm
Right.
just a huge advocate of that. So this company, my Bath and Body company, it kind of it kind of goes because I wanted to do natural
Right.
skincare
All natural.
to see
Uh-huh.
everything that I can do with natural. skincare. So next thing I go from body butter to making like bath soaps, and
Mm.
I'm literally giving this stuff away at work.
Right,
Just like,
right.
here, try this, try this. I did it,
You want to see if
you know,
it
like
works and
food,
if they
literally
love it.
like
Yeah,
food.
yeah. Try
See
this,
if it
try
works,
this.
if they love it, and yes, yes. And so one thing led to another, and I had people in my ear say, "Hey, you should make a business out of this," and
Right,
da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm an engineer. I got my job. I don't need
right.
to
You're like,
do
I
this.
already
I do
got
this
a
for
job.
fun.
Right. I'm trying to
Right,
help
right.
y'all.
I'm doing this for right, right. I'm doing this for fun.
Yeah.
And so, eventually I did come up with a company, and naturally I came up with Levert, and I say naturally because um, the name Levert is the French word for the green, the
Right.
color green,
Okay.
and so green fits that's who I am, that's what I believe, and that's what I stand for. But the other thing, the reason why I chose the language French is because in high school, I won the award for the best speaking French person in our class. So I love
Okay.
the language,
Okay.
the French language. So yeah, I used to could speak it pretty fluently. Don't ask me now because I
It's
don't
been a
use it, but
while.
I've
Okay.
always loved it. It's been a long while.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, and I love the language, and it fit with what I was trying to with my company mantra. So that's how the name Levert came about. Now, I will say this, like, so when I first started Levert, I still didn't have, it was just, so I can be organized, but it still wasn't what it is today. Like,
Right.
it took some years. I want to say maybe 5 years before I actually, in my mind, thought it could be a business that could pay the bills.
Gotcha.
Because
Okay.
up until that point, it was still a hobby. Because I mean, I had my
Right.
engineering career is going strong.
Yeah.
I was good at what I did, but it wasn't until I took a trip to Orlando, Florida,
Okay.
and I can't remember the exact spot I was in, but it was some like Disney retail spot where they have all these different retail locations, such as it had bars and
Huh.
shopping you can do, and there was this one store. It wasn't Bath and Body Works, but it was a store like a natural Bath and Body store
Okay.
where it had a lot of the same products I was making,
Huh.
and it was crowded.
Oh yeah. You know, in Disney, they gonna keep them there.
Right. When I say it was crowded,
Uh
there
huh.
was a line to get into it.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I was like,
That's when the light bulb kind of
right,
start
like,
warming
yeah,
up.
well, like maybe I can make this into, maybe this could be, maybe I've been sitting on this for
Right.
a
Like,
while,
hold
and
on. Yeah.
like, huh. And mind you, up to this point, I had already done a lot of products that I had already formulated that were great.
Yeah.
I was selling it here and there, nothing, nothing
Yeah.
serious. And then I literally got back from that trip, and the trip probably happened, I can't remember the year exactly, but let's just say it was like in October. In January, I had kicked it in full gear with
Oh yeah.
Laverne, like I started vending.
Uh.
I did a launch, and I had just recently, literally a year before that, moved to Houston. So a year later, I'm relaunching my company, but this time I'm actually putting it out there in
Right.
public for
Right.
people to see.
Like you said, you was going to the
So
vendors and the different shows and stuff, letting more people see it
yeah,
than
I
just your
started
immediate
vending.
circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started vending really hard. Like at first, it was a struggle because I vended at it didn't matter what it was. I was vending. I was vending at fairs. I was vending. You name it. If I saw it, because I went online and just searched different events that were happening, and so I would apply to vend.
Yeah.
But you learn what you should vend in and what you shouldn't. So I eventually became the vending snob. But what happened for me vending
Uh-huh.
was after probably about a year of doing it, I no longer had to go searching for vending events.
They
I
was
had
coming
people
after
coming
you.
to me.
Yeah. You had
Yes.
your name out
And
there. Yeah.
yes, and it was a clear defined line when that started happening because I remember getting a phone call saying, "Hey, we're having this gala, and we love your style and it fits our gala, so we want you to come vend." So the cool thing was I was getting invited to like upscale events,
Yeah.
which fit the thought of Levert, because though Levert is handmade, I never wanted it to look homemade.
Right.
So whenever I did my setup and everything, people were always impressed because a lot of people thought it was a franchise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They probably
and
thought you
and
you was just working the booth, but it was a
they
franchise
they
all over.
really did.
I know how
They
that
really
is.
did.
Yeah.
Yep, they really thought I was just working a booth. But then when they would stop and ask me questions and, "Hey, is this your full time job?" and I'm like,
Right.
"Yeah, no, I'm a civil engineer." And that would really blow their mind. Like,
Like,
you're a
what are
civil
you
engineer
doing
and you're
here?
vending.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right. And so, that was an attraction for
Mm.
a lot of people once once they started to get to know me. Next thing you know, I have like I'm having like regular clients. I have people following me to vending events. Like, they would show up because they knew I was there. Because at the time, and I only had a website. You could order from the website, but that's the only place you
Place
can
you can
get
get
it.
it from.
So, and if you wanted it,
On
you
the
would have
spot,
to
they'd have
come
to
to
find
wherever I
you.
was at.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
yep. So it eventually got to that, but it took some time and some prep and some hustling, and
yeah.
you
Definitely
know
some sacrifices.
between work, definitely some
You can't just
sacrifices.
get off and kick
Like,
your feet up and watch TV.
oh no, oh no. Oh no, none of that. Like, Saturday mornings, I was getting up and I was going to vend.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you had your
dropping my son off
son.
at the babysitter. Yep,
Yeah, because he's still
dropping him off
young.
at the babysitter. Now that he's older now,
He's
like,
right
as
there
he got
with
a
you.
little older, yep,
Uh-huh.
depending on the vending event, he would be right there with me. But usually, if it was like an evening event, a gala, I would have
Gotcha.
to either he would have I would have a babysitter come to the house, or he would have to go to a babysitter, so I could go ahead and vend. But no, yeah, it was. And when I say I was still working, I was still working my engineering job full time,
Full time, man. So you had really two
full
full
time.
time gigs. Okay.
Two full-time gigs,
Yeah.
trying to just making it work and making it grow, and it did grow. Houston is definitely
Oh
a
yeah. That's
great hub for that,
great.
so
Yes.
it grew. Yes, awesome. So,
Location does matter. You was definitely in one of the right
oh my
cities.
goodness, oh my goodness, when I say, like, I never would have imagined the popularity that Laverne grew to. And it has become to the point where people know my company. They know me when they see me, but they don't know my name. They just know my company.
That's
So
Laverne. Yeah.
that's Laverne. Yep, yep, yep. She, da da da. I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me. So, um, and so eventually it started coming to a place where I wanted more for Laverne. I just felt like I wasn't getting all that I could from Laverne, in that everything
Yeah.
that I learned in my products, I taught myself. I
Yeah.
did the research. I mean, I'm a part of like a gazillion groups. Like,
Uh-huh.
I did so much reading, so much studying, which helped to, I guess, if you want to say, sell the product. I don't really call it selling, to educate people on natural
Right.
ingredients and why they're so good for you. But it still wasn't enough for me. So last year, I'm sorry, the year before last, 2017, probably around October, November,
Uh-huh.
I decided to take my first leap of faith and decided that I was going to go back to school to get my esthetician's license.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah,
So
so,
now
and
you got
a
two
lot of people,
full
I know,
time gigs going on. You're studying, you're researching, and then you just decide like I need to go to school and get
yes,
certified
yes, I need to get certified. I wanted to learn the science
behind it.
again, because I don't care how many books I read, how much I studied on my
Yeah.
own. I knew that there was still a lot of information that I was not getting,
Right.
just from doing that alone, and I needed to go back to school to do that.
Yeah.
So, and then also too, I had made up in my mind I was quitting my job.
Okay.
I was going.
So
I
you
was.
knew then.
I knew then that I was going to quit my job. They
Okay.
didn't know, of course, but
Right.
I
Right.
knew. And so, in doing that, I needed to have something immediately replace my salary. I mean, I'm just
Right.
going to keep it real.
Yeah.
And all the research I had done, the way to do that was to be able to do skincare, skin health, do
Okay.
this and do that. So yeah, I decided, I did. I signed up. I remember going to the registrar's office,
Uh-huh.
and it was, what was so funny was, the question is, as far as the highest education level that you have,
Right.
was actually a high school diploma. It
Uh-huh.
wasn't even a degree.
Right. It
And
wasn't even
so
a option to check anything higher than that, huh?
no, no. And so, and and then they wanted me to, it's when I told them how long ago it was for me to go to high school, they
Yeah.
had wanted me to basically take like a math and, science exam to
Like a
see where I
wonder.
was
Like
at.
yeah. Let's make sure she
Yeah.
can handle this
Yeah,
coursework.
she could. Yeah, that she could handle the coursework, and then I finally had to say, I have a bachelor in civil engineering. I think I'm good,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're like, oh, okay.
He like you see them streets you standing on. Yeah, I did that.
Right, right. And so yeah, last year in 2018, starting in January, I went back to school, and it was night school.
Okay.
Night school.
So you pulled a Kevin
Uh,
Hart.
yes, yes. So mind you, I still have my full time job,
Uh huh.
And now
You still got
I'm
Levert that
spending
you.
my nights
Uh
in
huh.
night school. I still have Laverne
Yeah.
that I'm taking orders, that I'm still vending.
Right, because people want their
I
orders.
still have my son. They
Yeah.
still want their orders. They still want their orders. And the good thing about Laverne was I have a good Instagram presence and a good Facebook presence, and then
Okay.
the website.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was kind of seamless to keep that going. I still was vending, but I wasn't vending as much
Yeah.
in 2018.
Which was
I
good
mean,
because they
because
already knew you anyway. You had built your
they
reputation.
did. They already knew me, and so here's the cool thing about having already an established company when I went to esthetician night school.
Uh-huh.
So we got hands-on training. We had class time, but then we had actual spa time, lab time. So my clients from Laverne would come have me treat them in school.
Yeah, come get a little freebie. That's what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
yes, because I literally on my Instagram post said, "Hey, I'm in esthetician school. I need
Yeah.
people that I need to practice on." When
Awesome.
I say I was in class, I had them like some of the most clients. Like
Yeah.
people like, "Where are you getting all these
I know,
clients?"
right? Like,
Because
are you paying these people?
yeah, I'm like, no, these are my clients from my other company. They trust and believe me. They trust and believe what I do. So they showed up and showed out. So I mean, there were days almost every day we had lab, I was fully booked
Man.
every day for almost an entire year.
Yeah.
So I graduated in December,
Okay. Congratulations.
and so yeah, and took the test, set for my licensure. Which a lot of people who knew me kind of didn't understand my need for going back to school. As
Right.
far as need for this license, because they were always comparing it to my engineer's license. And but for me, I always wanted to go through the process. It
Right.
was all about the
It's
process
something
for me,
about
and I
going through that
needed to get
process. Yeah.
something about going through that process, even if a lot of people felt like it was somewhat, like I took a step back, but I did
Uh-huh.
take a step back. I tell people I definitely learned a lot. I met a lot of great people
True.
while I was in school. But yeah, once I got that license, yeah, let's just say I left my job. I left, yeah,
So,
in December of 2018.
so how'd that go when you was like, put what were they like? Because usually when you're good at something and you're there, they're like leaving. Like, what are you gonna do? What's going on?
Well, the funny thing was, I'm not going to lie, that last year was a struggle because I
Uh,
knew the plan. I knew
yeah.
the plan. And when you work for yourself,
Uh-huh.
there is no greater feeling in the world.
Amen.
And Lavert had started picking up to the point to where I could really see, the dollars as far as, hey, this is about to be real. I'm making money for myself.
Yeah.
So working in an industry, while I loved civil engineering, I
Uh-huh.
loved being an engineer, there were a lot of things about the industry that were very, very tough.
Okay.
A lot of things that I had to deal with, from, sexism to racism
Yeah.
to,
I was
you
just about
know,
to ask that, is there a lot of women civil
no,
engineers?
there isn't. There is
Okay.
not.
Okay.
And there's even less women who are PEs.
Yeah, so
I'll
when you
put it
get to
like
that
this.
next level, they probably looking at you like,
Yeah, every day I literally was being challenged.
yeah,
Every
wow,
day.
yeah,
Every day,
having to prove yourself.
and every day proving myself. If I make a decision,
Hmm.
someone questioning that. So
Uh-huh.
it literally, what it did for my psyche was every day I looked like the angry black woman,
Yeah,
literally,
it can
because
happen.
you're constantly having to defend yourself, and it wears on you.
Man, I
So
can only
after
imagine.
16, yeah, so I'll say after 15 years,
Uh,
that's another reason why I made that decision. I said, you know what, I'm so sick and tired of having to come into work and basically switch from being this, being a nice person to being this hard, stern person, just so people get the point.
yeah,
So yeah, no, it weighed. And so that last year, when I say there were times I wanted to walk out the door in the middle of the year for
right,
some of the foolishness that went on.
right.
But
And you was
I
getting
stuck
so
to the
close to
plan.
your other thing, right? But you had
Oh
to
my
be disciplined and
goodness.
stick to that plan.
Let me tell you, it was probably, what was it, November, like right before Thanksgiving, and
Uh-huh.
something foolish happened at work. I said, you know what? I'm deuces. I was like, I'm about to shut the. I was like, me and my son, we're gonna eat ramen noodles. I got it
Yeah,
worked out. We're gonna,
yeah,
it was that bad. There were days that I literally had to be talked off the ledge.
yeah. Look in the mirror and be like, don't let them run you out of here.
Don't let them run you. You quit on your own
That's right.
terms. That was, I kept saying that in my head. Quit on your leave on your own terms.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made it into the end of the year, and I was able to leave on my own terms. So, that was a definitely a great feeling to be able to do that. And it was such a weight off my shoulders leaving that job. Just leaving all that behind. Like I said, I love being an engineer. I just didn't love the other crap that came along with that. And 16 years was long enough to put up with that.
Gotcha, gotcha. So let's talk about when did you get into From Nature's Love, your wellness spa and boutique? Like when did that come about?
So I had came up with the name, and I knew I was going to open up a wellness spa in 2017. I knew I
Okay,
was going to. I mean, and it was going to be natural based. That's the mantra of From Nature with Love. Everything, all the products that I use are natural based products. I don't
okay,
use nothing harsh, nothing synthetic,
okay,
anything like that. So. And then a lot of my treatments, it's based off of natural products, but it's also based off of technology. So I'll use equipment, tools to achieve what I'm trying to achieve in the treatment that I'm offering, but never, I don't prescribe anything, and estheticians don't prescribe anyway. If say if someone comes in and they have a severe case, I have to refer them to a dermatologist.
right,
But most things can be taken care of with a good skincare regimen.
okay,
Most things, not
yeah,
everything, but most things. But yeah, that came about, yeah, 2017. I literally
2017.
started putting it together. And so the cool thing about going to esthetician school, they would have us do like vision boards.
Oh,
So
okay,
my vision board, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use this time to plan out my spa.
yeah, this right
So
on
yeah,
time.
yeah, I came up with the logo,
Uh,
everything in school,
yeah,
literally. And when I presented it, I'm like, this is mine, this is what it's gonna be. And they're like, "Ah, it may change." I'm like, you're not understanding me.
yeah,
Like, I'm not young in this game. I know
right,
what I want. Like, this is what it's gonna be.
yeah,
And thankfully, everything that I had, for the most part, everything that I've planned, it's come to
it's come to
fruition.
fruition. Amen.
And there's so much more. Oh my gosh, it's got
Okay,
so much planned, but the start of it is has been awesome seeing it come to life.
okay.
So yeah,
Cool. Well, let me get to some of these questions a bunch of the listeners had for you. We can
okay.
start from the beginning. One of the first ones was, which products do you personally use the most? I know you already said you was using some for your son, but what do you personally use the most?
So, of Verte of my own, I'm gonna
Yeah,
be honest. I use all my
you use all
products.
of
Like
them. Huh?
I,
Okay.
I do not like if I make it, it gets used. I do
Yeah,
not go to the store and buy it. So
that's
I
what I'm
have
talking
I
about.
have body scrubs.
Yeah.
I use those. So I don't use anyone else's body scrubs. I make soaps. I use my own soaps. I don't use
Yeah.
someone else's. What else do I have? My body creams.
Okay. The
I
creams.
Yes, it's like a thick lotion. I use that. I don't use anyone else's.
Yeah.
So the only products that I use in someone else's are my facial when it comes to washing my face. But I'm working on Levert having its own facial care line.
Okay.
But the product line that I use on my face, I use in the spa. But
Gotcha.
once Levert's is up and running, oh
Uh,
yeah, it's getting switched to Levert. Everything's getting switched to Levert.
everything. Okay.
It's easier to how am I going to sell something to people if
That
I
you're
don't
not
even use
using
them
it. Right.
myself?
Right.
So it allows me to tell them, hey, if you have this type of skin, this is what it's going to feel like. Or if you have this type of skin, do not use this product, it's not good for you.
Good.
And
Good.
so I think that's what I attribute my success to, is the fact that I use my own products every day. My son use my If you live in my house, you're going
You
to use
can
my
use the products.
products.
Yeah.
you know my family, I send them products in the mail. Like, everyone uses my products.
Amen. What do you enjoy most about your business?
The creativity of it. I
Okay.
love creating. I love creating the products from the not just the actual product inside of a jar. I engineered my labels.
Oh,
Every yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
Everything it's still engineering for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's true.
And though I've stepped away from civil engineering for a little bit,
Uh-huh.
well, hint hint, um um it's still engineering. So I just love creating that's the and you know what, also too, I all the people that I have met,
Uh-huh.
all the people who have been faithful clients and have stuck with me through this journey,
Right.
that has been the one of these best parts about starting this company.
Very rewarding. Okay. Okay. Well, with that being said, what's your greatest challenge in this business? I know in your other business, You had a lot of racism, chauvinism, all that stuff. What's your greatest challenge you had to face so far, whether it be with the spa or your products?
Hmm. With the products, at first it was getting people to be interested in it.
Okay.
That was the challenge for that.
Okay.
With the spa, the challenge that I'm facing is getting people to leave who they currently go to come to me.
That's true. Yeah. Once you're with someone for a while and you trust them, and you be like, why should I
Yep.
leave? Yeah.
Right. Right. So that's I would say that's the greatest challenge right now.
Okay. And ultimately, what do you think is going to separate you from the rest of the wellness industry?
It's not just a job for me. I
Okay.
I really believe that I'm helping people. It's twofold. Not, I believe that a lot of people focus on the inside of their body, as far as, it's because it's a temple. They focus on what they're eating,
Uh huh.
how they're exercising, but the skin is an outward health that still needs to be taken care of, and a lot of people neglect that.
Yeah.
So from a wellness perspective, I think I'm helping people be healthy from the outward
From
in. That's one of my sayings. I'm helping you be healthy from the outward in,
okay.
because what you put on your body is just as important as what you put in your body.
Right.
And then also too, you know, in this day and age, everyone is stressed out.
Man.
Everyone is go, 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 go.
Uh huh.
So from Nature with Love helps people to take a moment to pamper themselves, to take care of themselves. And so, from a mental perspective, when you're in my spa and you're getting a facial or whatever treatment you're getting
Uh huh.
for an hour, you have to sit there and relax
Yes.
and take time for yourself. And so those are the two areas that I feel, that how I'm helping people. It's not just a job. I'm not just getting money.
Right.
I'm helping.
Yeah, and like you said, you was kind of doing this stuff for free before people was like, you should make it a business. So we know it
Right,
definitely wasn't about
exactly.
the money.
It wasn't about the money at all.
Okay, okay. Is it okay to mix skincare lines?
It is. You just have to
Yes.
know how to do it.
Okay.
Um, a good esthetician,
Uh huh.
can tell you. I mix skincare lines,
Okay.
but I've been trained to do that. I've been trained, and then I had extensive training before I went to esthetician school. I learned ingredients.
Okay.
Like I can flip over a bottle, look at an ingredient, say, "Yep, nope, nope, yep, yep," and
I
tell you
got
if it's
you.
bad.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. You have to know the ingredients and what they do and what they don't do, or if they're harmful, if they get mixed with something else. But yes, you most certainly can mix skincare lines.
Okay. We might have to set you up to do consultations for people because
Oh,
the normal
absolutely.
lay person ain't gonna be able to look at a bottle and be like, should I use this or not?
Right, right.
Okay. What's the best products for hyperpigmentation?
Ooh, that's a good question. So, hyperpigmentation isn't just about one product;
Uh
it's
huh.
about your skincare regimen. So, and I'll start off with African Americans,
Okay.
because that is, our deal.
Right.
Hyperpigmentation happens with people who have melanin in their
Mm-hmm.
skin. So, the one product, if I'm going to recommend, and everyone that's listening is going to be like, "What?" I actually did a whole video on this. It's going to be sunscreen.
Sunscreen. Wow. Who
Yes,
knew?
because melanin is produced when you get more melanin production when you're out in the sun.
Right.
So if you already have a discolored portion of your body and you step out in the sun, what's going to happen? It's going to be even more
Even
discolored.
more. Yeah.
So sunscreen is one of the products that even as African Americans we should be using.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I use sunscreen every day.
Okay.
Every day. If you're, I don't care if you're driving in your car, if
Yeah,
you're
that sun's
stepping
still hitting you.
outside, that sun is
Hmm.
still hitting you. And the sun
Man.
doesn't have to be hitting you directly. The rays bounce off the concrete.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that. So, but yeah, that's one way to back hyperpigmentation. Another thing is exfoliation.
Okay.
You should be
Exfoliation.
I'm sorry, you should be exfoliating 1 to 2 times a week. And that's especially for oily skin, and
Uh-huh.
then also for people who are melanated. If you're melanated, you should be doing these things. It'll help with the hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
There's a couple other in more depth things depending on what's causing the
Hmm.
hyperpigmentation, and the
Yeah.
cases vary, but from a general standpoint, exfoliation and sunscreen.
Okay. Good. Good. And as far as the spa, what should people be looking or asking for when visiting your spa for the first time?
Um, I would always recommend the signature facial.
Okay.
So in the signature facial, what it does is it allows me to give you a skin consultation. I will actually analyze your skin, tell you the skin type that you have, and do a visual inspection of maybe there's some condition that you have, whether it be you have acne skin or you're dehydrated. I'll be able to tell that. If you've been out in the sun too long, just little things like that. So I always recommend the signature facial when people come in if they've never had anything from a spa perspective done before.
Yeah, okay, start off with that.
And start off with that, and then what you'll leave there with. So what I do with my clients, the products that I use, at least the main products for a good healthy skincare regimen, I actually give the sample bottles to people to take home to get to know the product a little bit better.
Okay.
And then I also tell you, I give you your skin synopsis. I tell you what I found. Hey,
Wow.
you have oily skin. You don't need to do this, do that. Stuff like that.
Okay. Awesome. How often should you wax?
Wax, ooh.
Yeah.
So this one is tricky.
Uh-huh.
So it depends on what you're waxing, of
Okay.
course.
Right.
Um, if we're talking legs and arms, when you start waxing,
Uh-huh.
you should really do an analysis of how your hair grows.
Ah.
And if it's growing at a fast pace,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to be waxing at least every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay.
Now, if we're going to get a little bit more complicated, we're talking like, for the lady, even men get, we
Right.
call them manzillions, Brazilians, once a month. But
Once
the
a
cool
month.
thing, or the other thing that I'm going to introduce people to, instead of waxing, I also do sugaring.
Sugar. Okay.
Sugaring,
What's
which
that
is
about?
that is a natural form of hair removal.
Oh.
Wax, yes, wax is made of resin. Resin is not natural, and waxing also removes the first layer of skin, the first couple layers of skin. So that's why
Is
a
that
lot
why
of
it
people get
hurts?
irritated. Well, no, it's gonna hurt
It's
because
gonna hurt
you're
when
removing.
because you're yanking it off. Okay. Okay.
Look, you're pulling hair straight from the root, so it's gonna hurt. That's why I tell people there's no way getting around
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
But what we can get around is doing a more natural form of waxing or natural form of hair removal, which is sugaring.
Yeah.
So waxing removes the first couple of layers of skin. So that's why a lot of people get bumps. I used to still
Mm,
get hair bumps from
gotcha.
waxing.
Yeah.
Sugaring does not remove skin because all it does is it just attaches to the hair. Waxing attaches to your
To the
skin and
skin.
hair.
Yeah.
So my goal, while I do wax now,
Hmm.
my goal is to actually be able to do away with waxing and completely go to sugaring because it's a more natural form of removing hair, and it's also that when the sugar touches your skin and you
Uh,
remove the hair,
uh,
it actually leaves your skin moisturized.
wow. That sounds like I'm thinking like, why didn't anyone else think of this? But that seems like that's gonna be a good push when you get that out there. Like that's really gonna
Oh
be a
yeah, because
game changer.
right? Because everyone knows waxing, wax,
Right.
wax, wax. We
It's
wax
just what
this.
they
No
know.
one,
Right.
no. Yep. And sugaring is actually an ancient form of hair removal. It
Mm.
was done in the Middle East,
Okay.
in Egypt. They did it in Egypt. So they didn't have wax pots back in those
Right.
days. But they had some sugar, some water, and some lemon.
Mm.
And it's a sugar paste. It's basically and that those are the only three ingredients it's made from. That's it. You can pronounce You can actually eat the paste.
Right. Eh,
Yep.
there you have it. Okay. Okay. Well, I know you can't trust a lot of products around your sensitive areas. With that being said, you can't trust everyone with those needs. What types of testing do y'all follow under FDA regulations or what?
So here's the thing about cosmetics. Believe
Okay.
it or not, unless you're making medical claims,
Oh,
cosmetics do not
yeah,
fall under
yeah.
the FDA. So if you
Gotcha.
look at my products, I don't make any medical claims.
No claims, right?
I don't even make eczema claims. Eczema is actually no, it's actually illegal. A lot of people don't.
Illegal?
A lot
Huh.
of it is illegal for you to say that your products help eczema or
Yeah.
cure eczema. Um, and the only reason why you'll find natural bath and other bath and body companies that do it.
Uh-huh.
They're the smaller. If you look at the bigger guys,
Yeah.
they don't make those claims because it's
Right.
illegal.
Right. And they'll get
So
sued. Yeah.
they'll get sued. The FDA will come after you.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people, be careful when you're doing natural bath and body. If someone is making eczema claims,
Yeah.
yeah, they can get arrested. Their products
Yeah.
they can be shut down. So yeah, you will never hear me make those claims, never,
Okay.
and you
Gotcha.
won't see it on the website. So just a little bit of education. Yeah, cosmetics. Only time you're FDA regulated is if you're making medical claims.
All right. Because then you
The
got to prove it.
then you have to prove it, and then you have to have clinical trials.
Yeah. You have to go
You
through
know,
all
who
the
can you
phases.
have to go through all
That's a
of that?
lot of
Yeah,
money.
that is a lot of money, a lot of money. So,
Yeah.
yep, just stay away from it. Don't
Okay.
do it.
Gotcha. Good, good. It's been cold across the land lately. With that being said, what are some products that you have with that can help with dry skin in the cold months? And then even down in the south when it gets real hot, is there some specific ones, different ones, same ones? What should we be using in the cold months versus the hot months?
Okay, so the cold months, so year round, you should be exfoliating your entire body anyway. So I do have a
Okay.
body scrub, which was my top seller until my most recent product that I came out with last year. But you should be exfoliating. So I my body scrubs, they not only exfoliate, but they also moisturize your
Yeah.
body.
And
And
what's
the
the
reason
name?
why
What's the name of that product before we keep going?
if you go on my website, I
Uh
call
huh.
it body. I wanted to get fancy, so
Uh
mine are
huh.
called body polishes. I'm
Body polishes.
polishing, yes.
Ah, okay, okay.
And the Zen Garden is the number one
Zen
bestseller.
Garden. Got you. Okay.
So, and as we know, when in the wintertime, your skin gets even more dry and
Mm-hmm.
chapped,
Yep.
and then it starts flaking. So that's why exfoliation is even more important. And depending on the dryness of your skin, outside of exfoliating, I have my body cream. Now I created the body cream. I don't do body butters anymore. I used to do body butters, but they melt.
Yeah.
They melt and they're a mess. So I did a body cream, which is just a very thick lotion that could
Okay.
be used all year round. But because some people don't require a lot of moisture, even
Right.
in the wintertime. So the body
Mm-hmm.
creams are good for that. But to give people something who really, really have, dry skin, it doesn't matter what time of day or what have you, I created a product called the lotion bar.
Okay.
The lotion bar is like a solid form of, let's just say, you remember back in the day, the little cocoa butter sticks that everybody used
Uh
to
huh.
use. You kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
push it up. So
Yep.
it's like that, but it's of course it's more natural than those, and it's bigger, but it's like a push up, and it's made of shea butter,
Okay.
cocoa butter, coconut oil, and it's just pure concentrated butters and oils. There's no water in it. There's nothing, and it's really, really, really concentrated. So I tend to recommend that to people if they want something that packs a little bit more punch, and it's also good for travel. Very, very good for traveling.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. One of our listeners, I don't know if this is a strange question or not, but they gave it to me, so I said I was going to ask it. They want to know, how do you get hair off your toes?
That can be waxed. You can wax your toes.
Wax. Okay, okay. So that's
Yeah,
probably the best
yeah.
way.
Tell them to go. They can, if they're in the Houston area, they can come see me.
Already, yeah, yeah.
But they can just go to any waxing facility, and they can wax that off their toes. You
Okay,
can do
cool,
your
cool.
knuckles if you have hair on your
Knuckles.
knuckles. You can wax almost any area of your body.
Gotcha. Okay, okay. Tell us about that time y'all had the pleasure of being a part of the House of Attractions and the Project Row Houses.
Oh yeah, House of Trey Chic
Trey Chic.
in
Okay.
the Project Row houses.
Yeah.
So House of Trey Chic is a company that, how can I say, they specialize in promoting minority owned, women owned businesses. So it's
Okay.
like a collective.
Yeah.
The owner, whenever she has an event, she specifically goes out and finds these different types of minority women owned businesses.
Nice.
So Project Row House is a, let's just say, like an initiative here in Houston where, and I'm gonna, hopefully I'll tell the story right.
Okay.
These row homes were owned by the first slaves that were emancipated here in Houston.
Yeah.
They're very historical. So what they did was, now they're part of art now. So you can get a, like a, I don't even know what they call it, like a stipend.
Right.
So every year they
Mm-hmm.
have rounds. They call them rounds. So every 3 or 4 months they switch out the rounds for artists. Then the artists come in and redecorate each row home to represent our culture.
Okay.
So House of Trey Chic applied for one of these row homes for that round, and so her artistic interpretation was of promoting the different cultural businesses in the Houston area. And because I knew her, she had tried my products before, and I had
Okay.
worked with her on other events. She chose me as one of her vendors to feature inside of her house.
Yeah.
So when
Gotcha.
people would come to see the different Project Row homes, and each home was decorated differently, but she turned hers into a store.
Mm-hmm.
So people could come in and purchase products from different minority owned, women owned businesses. It was awesome. When I say I got a lot of press from that, I got a lot of new clients.
Wow.
I even hosted an event where I took over her entire Project Row home and
Yeah.
completely turned it into a Verte store. I had so many people come through. It was awesome.
That's great. Love it. Love it. And um Are your products safe for someone with severe sensitive skin and or allergies?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I figured that.
Now, yeah, and it also depends on their allergies. I do have a client, she's allergic to shea butter. If you have
Uh,
those types of allergies,
right then, you
you can't use it. But like I always tell people, be sure to always read the ingredients. And that's why I put the
definitely
ingredients on there. I don't want it to be a secret.
right. Like you're trying to
You
keep it
know,
from somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, no. I want people to know what they're putting on their body. So yeah, absolutely. Always look at the ingredient label. But for the most part, no. If you have sensitive, matter of fact, it my products are probably more conducive for you if you have sensitive skin because your sensitivity is probably coming from synthetic products, most
Okay,
likely.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Okay, and this twofold. What are your short and long term benefits from using your products? And then also tell us about the wraps you offer and their short and long term benefits.
Okay, so the short term of using my products are you a lot of them you see you get immediate gratification.
Okay,
Like
good.
say, let's just use the body polish for example. Most people, so this is one of the tricks that I used to do when I used to vend. So at first when I was vending, I didn't you couldn't sample my products.
Oh,
I couldn't you couldn't wash your hands or anything. So I
uh,
engineered this contraption where I took like how you have the water dispensers.
yeah,
I took a water dispenser, decorated and said for washing,
yeah.
put a bowl underneath, and people were able to test my products. So that's how I got popular because you saw immediate gratification with
Mm,
the body polishes. You felt your hands being soft. You
yeah,
felt your hands
smooth.
being smooth and cleansed and
Hmm.
moisturized. So that's the short term. That's the immediate. The long term is, hey, you're no longer putting poisons on your skin. In a
Okay,
way, you're detoxing your body
yeah.
naturally.
Okay, good, good.
And then you asked about the wrap.
The wraps.
So, let's see, how many wraps do I have? I have three wraps.
Okay,
I have I forget off the top of my head. It's like I call it like a cashmere. Oh no, a milk and honey wrap.
okay.
That one is for people with severely dry skin, like severely dry. Like your skin is all like it doesn't matter what you put on it.
Ain't nothing
2 hours
helping.
later, it's dry. So
Yeah.
it's the thought behind it is how Cleopatra used to do it, because she used to bathe in milk baths
Right.
with honey in them, honey and roses in them. So the milk and honey wrap is just that. It's made of actual milk, lactic acid,
Uh huh.
and lactic acid exfoliates your skin. So when the short term is when you get off the table, your skin is silky smooth. But the long term is it lasts more than a couple of days.
Gotcha.
So you're a couple of days and your body is moisturizing and silky smooth. I have two detox wraps.
Okay.
I have one that's less expensive than the other one. The least expensive one is just that it just detoxes. If you're on this healthy kick and you just want a good detox, not just from eating certain things, but you want to detox your skin. You want to detox your because we have lymphatic system. Our body's
Mm-hmm.
constantly getting rid of waste.
Yep.
That's what that detox is for. And then I have the fitness detox wrap. Now this is the mother of detox wraps
Okay.
because it is the only wrap that I have that you actually lose inches. So no, really, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, you actually lose inches and you will detox as well.
Yeah.
So the thing about this wrap, the more you do it, the more effects you get. So it can have the short term effects is, of course, you see the immediate loss of inches. Now, in order to get the long term effects, if you're going to do this wrap, and I always tell people who sign up for this wrap, if you're not serious about being healthy, eating right, and whatnot, do not waste your money on this wrap
Okay.
because you'll within 2 or 3 days, maybe 5 days, 3 or 4 days, those inches will be back.
Okay, gotcha.
But if you're serious about just being healthy, working out, if you come get the wrap, they say the optimal amount of to get the wrap is 3 to 6 times.
Okay.
That's when you'll see the most results. But yeah, if you just want to fit in a dress, I
Right,
wouldn't
just for a
recommend spending the
weekend.
money.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
gotcha.
I tend to talk people out of those types of people. I just don't mean I don't see waste
Right, you
spending
don't want
that
them to
much
waste their
money.
money. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, get the most out of it. If
That's
you're,
what I'm talking about.
when you're ready to get serious about your health, come see me about
Yeah,
that one. Now the
right, for
other
that.
wraps, not some, it's okay, but that
Yeah.
one, no, because
Okay.
you're spending an hour in an infrared blanket sweating,
Yeah.
and you have, and I literally wrap you like a mummy
Uh,
in mud and sea clays and sea
yeah.
salts and stuff. You don't want to have to go through all that for just 4 or 5 days. No,
Right, right. Okay, well, that's good. Like I said, I know you're educating the people too. It's not about the money. You really
it's
trying to
not.
help. That's awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What about eco designs? What is your inspiration for all these custom projects coming from, and what feeds your creativity?
You know, simplicity.
That's simplicity. Keep
I
it
mean, no, really,
simple.
like keep it. I mean, the every I didn't expect people to take to the design of like the packaging
Uh
as
huh.
well as they have. But my thought was, I am an engineer. Like in every form or fashion, I love to keep it simple. I like for people to be able to read it crisp and clear.
Yeah.
I like things to be in order. So when I came up with the labels and stuff, that's what I had in mind. If you look at my labels, like everything is lined up, like it's very geometric. A lot of people
Yes.
didn't don't realize that until they look at it. They're like,
Uh
"Oh
huh.
yeah," I'm like, "Yeah, it's in." I engineered the labels,
Yeah.
literally. Even the colors, the
Oh.
green. Um, it's just all about engineering. That's what inspired me. Because I'm gonna be honest, I have no creativity. I am not imaginative. I am not. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah, but your
So I
background
was
has
like,
really came in handy.
oh, absolutely. I use it. I mean, shoot, 16 years and then,
Right. I'm gonna use
6 years
that.
before that, I'm going to use it in every way
Okay.
I can.
Good. Good. What would be your advice to a young upcoming entrepreneur, or even someone who's going into the engineering field?
In the engineering field, let's start off with that one.
Okay.
Um, how can I say it? Know your stuff for yourself.
Gotcha.
One thing that I learned early on when I graduated, with my degree,
Hmm.
and you step out into this world and you work for your first engineering firm, nothing in school could have prepared me for what I had to learn really quickly. Because, like I said, the business is tough for
Okay.
minorities. And,
Yeah.
I got two minority things. I'm a
Yep.
woman and I'm black.
Hmm.
And when I say I would get thrown under the bus all the time, I got thrown under the bus all the time. So one thing I did, because I'm a fighter, you're gonna get one or two times to throw me under the bus, and then I'm gonna come back at you.
Yeah.
So I made sure I knew everything from A to Z.
Yeah.
There was nothing that you could throw me under the bus under, because I know the answer, and you wouldn't be able to stump me. You wouldn't be able to blame me. You wouldn't be able to, because all my designs were as you say, the military, dress right dress. They were
Yeah.
on point.
Okay.
So especially to someone who is a minority, know your stuff. Don't play with it. If you're not prepared to put in the time and put in the effort, then
Yeah.
engineering is not for you.
Okay.
Um, as far as just an entrepreneur, one thing that I wish I would have done earlier is learn business.
Okay. The
And when
business
I
side
say
of it.
business, like from an accounting
Account
perspective,
side.
from a
Yeah.
financial
Balance,
perspective,
balancing the books and all
balance,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, investors,
Ah.
just learn business.
Yeah.
Learn
Gotcha.
how to do business, right? Learn how to be a good business minded person, early on. Don't wait until
Don't
you're
wait.
like my age to do it. If you can take a class, like that's what I do now.
Okay.
That's what I did. I still do it.
Yeah.
If I see a class and I feel
Continual
it can help
learning.
my
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
I go to it. Go
Okay.
go to it. Learn as much as you possibly can, because anybody can be. And I'm not saying this just to be saying this.
Uh,
Anybody can be an entrepreneur if you put your mind to it and you put the effort into it.
Amen. Okay. Okay. If you could go back in time and talk to the old you, what would you tell yourself to do different?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I probably would have started my businesses early.
A
I
little
I
earlier.
would have started a
Okay.
little bit earlier.
Got you.
Definitely, definitely. I wouldn't have procrastinated as long as I did with it.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up now? It's booming. I know it's gonna go great places. How can people reach you? Whether it's to buy things, book appointments, get some consultations, ask you about anything. What's all the platforms they can reach you in? Make sure you give them your websites and all that. We want to make sure everybody
Oh
can
wow,
contact you.
because I believe in being on everything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
let's
Take your
start off with
time.
let's start off with Laverte.
Okay.
So Laverte, I do have a website. It's www.laverte.biz. You can order product if you're not in Houston. You can order product online, and I do ship anywhere across the United States.
Okay.
Also, I am on Instagram with Laverte, and I believe the user or the ID is Laverteco, Laverteco. Laverte Company, Laverte Co. You can find me there, and I'm also on Facebook,
Okay.
Laverte LLC. And I definitely post on all of those platforms because people have their preferences, and I want everybody to
Right,
know
that's
about
true. You
Laverne.
don't want to miss anybody.
I don't want to miss anybody. For the spa, let's see. Let's start with the website. The website is a little lengthy, but it's www.fromnaturewithlove.com, and the love is spelled LUV.
Okay.
All of that is one word. From Nature with Love, and the love is spelled LUV.com. I am on Instagram, and it's let's make sure I get the letters right.
Yeah.
FNWL Spa Boutique. The first letters are For Nature with Love Spa Boutique.
Okay.
Is the username for the Instagram, and on Facebook it is From Nature with Love Spa Boutique. Always add the Spa
Spa
Boutique behind
boutique
it.
on it. Okay.
If you are in the Houston area or nearby,
Hmm. Or
in
just in town
Katy,
visiting. There's
or
a lot of
just in
stuff going
town
on. Yeah.
visiting, absolutely. I do have a physical location. It is at 8900 Kirby Drive, Suite 215. You can book your appointments online on the website
Okay.
as well. What else? When I feel
What
like I'm
about your
missing
business
something.
number so they can call you to book something?
So the business number is 866. Was 866-832-2431.
Okay.
Let's see. I feel like, oh yeah. So also too, if you're in the area and you want to purchase Laverte products, I actually sell Laverte products in the spa as well.
Okay.
So
Good.
you can actually come in and buy them as opposed to going online if you're in the surrounding area.
Right. Get them the same day.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Get out, get your signature facial and then walk away with a body
Ooh,
polish. Hey,
okay. Right on time.
right on time.
Oh,
I think that's everything. Whew,
that's
that was
it.
a lot. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
so. I think
Okay.
so.
Well, that if it wasn't enough, they can definitely reach your nose and go from there. And we really, really appreciate you. You got anything else you want to plug or shout out or
Um,
information you
well,
need to give?
also too. So if you go to the website, I also have a contact us page on there.
Right. I saw that.
Feel free to shoot me an email. I mean, I answer my emails,
Yeah.
everything. If you don't like to call, but you just like to
Yeah.
email,
Sometimes easier. Yeah.
it's easier. Absolutely, shoot me an email, and I do read them. I do respond. So please don't hesitate. Just give me a holler.
Okay, cool. Well, we appreciate you taking the time. We wish you much success. We're gonna be praying for your success, and I got a feeling this gonna really grow and balloon over the years. So
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to seeing it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, you too.
Bye bye.
Right, bye.
Now I don't want to be the one to tell you I told you so, but I did tell you that you wouldn't be disappointed and that you learned some new things. And if you're honest, I know you wasn't disappointed and you learned some new things. Definitely want to thank our special guest, Miss Briana, again for coming through, sharing her wisdom and expertise. She listed all the ways you can reach her, so reach out to her if you have any questions. She's that type of helpful person. She'll help you. Of course, if you have any questions for us, you can reach out to us on our Instagram handle, More Substance. That's MOORESUBSTANCE. We got the Facebook fan page. Again, the handle is More Substance. Or you can just email us. We're at moresubstance@gmail.com. That's MOORESUBSTANCE@gmail.com. An extra special thanks to our loyal listeners. You see, I had to switch up the beat on the outro for y'all. I didn't want y'all getting too relaxed or too comfortable with things, so I brought y'all a new melodic mix. These beats by Y Phoenix, by the way. He's gonna be on the show soon. We got a lot of good guests coming, so y'all keep tuning in. You know, we drop new episodes every Monday. We appreciate you, and we're just gonna keep bringing you the most interesting people, the interesting interviews. We're gonna educate you, bless you, and you name it. So you keep listening. We're gonna keep putting out some great substance.